All right, guys, it is straight up 8:30, and I am so excited to get started. Hopefully, you found yourself in the right webinar tonight. My name is Jen Kaufman, and on behalf of my husband, Ben, and I just want to welcome you guys to tonight's webinar. Really, truly, the purpose of the webinar is it's we're going to share our heart with you guys about what Ben and I really feel like are some of the intangible things that it takes to build a business in the world of AvoCare. So here's where we are, you guys. So I need you to know this up front. This training webinar is going to be available from tonight all the way through Sunday, May 25th at 9 o'clock p.m. So whether you have a business builder on your team that isn't on the webinar tonight, or maybe you've got somebody that you think, oh my gosh, I've got to get them on this webinar. If I would encourage you to send a text message right now. They can always go and get registered, or at minimum, make sure you pick up the phone after this webinar is done. Call them about what this webinar did for you, and then encourage them to get on this webinar, because again, we are only available until Sunday at 9 p.m. Hold on one second, you guys. This is our first time to use this program, so I'm getting some feedback on. Can you go and plug that headset thing? Okay, so here's where we are. Ben and I are using a brand new webinar system. We're very excited about it. So it's got chat options on the side. So if there's things, if you have questions, I'll actually entertain a couple of questions at the end if you choose. But here's what you want to know. You want to go ahead and grab a journal, okay? Grab a journal, because this is one of those trainings, and this is one of the things you will always learn in the world of AvoCare, is that you never want to leave your better future to your memory. You never want to leave your preferred future for your memory. So grab a journal, you guys. There's a reason why you'll walk in every single training that we ever have, and all of the top leaders, the people that make the most money, still to this day have a journal in their hand, and they're definitely taking notes the entire time, because guess what? We never stop learning and growing. We never stop self-reflecting and realizing, you know what, I can be better, and here's how. So grab a journal. All right, guys, so let's get started. And first things first, I want to make sure that you understand that this is not a basic training, okay? This is not a Saturday training. This is not a training. We're not going to train on products. I'm not going to teach you about the pay plan tonight. This is not a training that is going to replace the Saturday training that Ben and I are hosting this Saturday. It's a completely different type of training, so understand that. Also know that if you love product, if you are just a happy product user, this is not a training for you. Very likely you probably found yourself in the wrong place. If you just love your 20% discount and you want to know how to get to 40, this is probably not a training for you. Get back with a person that's helping you in the world of AvoCare, and they will help you understand how to get to a higher discount level. So who is this training for? This is a training for people that are hungry for something to happen in their life through the vehicle of AvoCare, that are business minded. This is a training for people that really truly say, you know what, the buck stops here. I've got to figure out how I can make this work for my life, because where I am right now stinks, because where I am right now is not where I want to be, because I have something missing in my life and I need answers and I need a vehicle. So here's where I am. So you guys, here's the thing. This is a training that Ben and I really truly feel like is part of some of the intangible parts of success, okay? I can teach you about the pay plan. I can teach you about the value of doing three-way calls and all of that. But if you don't get your thinking and your attitude right, then basically you're going to get to the point where you're really truly wanting to just quit. So basically this whole training is about making sure that you're thinking evolves. Your thinking changes. This is a webinar. I truly want you guys to say that that changed my thinking, because if your thinking doesn't change, you're going to fall back into normal. You're going to fall back into frustrated. You're going to fall back into, oh well, this is good enough. Well, I guess this is the way this is the way life is going to be. So here's the reality, you guys. You've got to realize that most of you have a lot on your plate. You know, most of you guys probably are, many of you probably are parents. Maybe you're not. Many of you probably have jobs. Maybe you don't. Many of you probably have commitments in life already. So why in the world would you look at something else to add to your plate? Because here's the reality. Your thinking has to be in the right place, you guys, because your thinking determines your choices and decisions. And your choices and decisions determine your actions. And here's the reality is that even if you do nothing, even if people do nothing, doing nothing is still an action, you guys. So if you have to, and the beauty of actions is that actions create results, and results determine a culture. So if you want to develop a culture of winning for yourself, for your family, for your team, it goes down to your thinking. And that starts with your belief system, you guys. So that 110% goes back to what we're going to train on right from the beginning. So here's what you guys have to know is that AdvoCare is a world-class company, okay? It is literally what so many people would call the Bentley of nutrition. Okay, we're on pace to be a billion-dollar company, God willing, this year, if not next year. We have a 20-year history. We have a rock-solid foundation of success, rock-solid foundation of science, rock-solid relationship with endorsers. You guys, we have commercials on ESPN. We have a pay plan that's being taught at Harvard, and a business opportunity that even Donald Trump says, you know what, for the average American, that's their best opportunity to make $1 million. So here's the reality is that we truly are sitting with our hands on an incredible vehicle in AdvoCare. So our job, been in my job, is to teach you truly what it takes to capture everything AdvoCare has to offer. We would be doing you a disservice if we did not teach you about the realities of the doubts, the fears, the disbelief that you will probably face when you step up to the plate to challenge yourself to build an AdvoCare business and in turn build a very different destiny for your family. So here's our hope. Our hope is that you decide to, after tonight, to either be all in or not. You guys, our job is to give you the truth and love. Our job is not to fluff it all up, make it sound pretty, make it sound like everybody is gonna, you know, reach their dreams, everybody's gonna become a triple diamond. You know, that's not our job. Our job is to paint a reality for you so that you are not left frustrated and you quit. Because here's the reality, many of you are probably already frustrated. Many of you are probably frustrated in your current job. You're frustrated in the existence of your life as you know it right now. So my job is to make sure you're not frustrated here too. Because most of you, if you're frustrated in both, you might as well just quit AdvoCare and go back and be frustrated in the job that's paying you at least something, in the job that you know the expectations of. So our job tonight is to make sure that we paint a picture for you, that you know the expectations of what it is. You know the reality of what it takes to build a business. And you're looking at that 2013 income disclosure, you guys. And here's what I want you to know about that is that our pay plan is beautiful. Our pay plan is brilliant, you guys. We are a product-driven business, period. If you are not moving product in the marketplace, you are very likely not collecting a paycheck from AdvoCare. If you're not building a team that is moving product in the marketplace, you are not collecting a check in AdvoCare, you guys. So here's the reality is that we get paid 5 ways. The first 2 ways that we get paid in the world of AdvoCare is you personally selling product, whether you're selling it full price or you're selling it at wholesale when that person gets their own product. So the first two ways that we get paid, most people earn anywhere from about $200 to $500 extra a month. Okay, but here's where it gets fun. That chart you're looking at right there. The last three ways we get paid really overrides in leadership. Incentives are just fantastic, extra perks. But the overrides in leadership, you guys, what you're looking at right there, okay? How do you capture that? How do you capture a ruby paycheck? How do you capture a 9-star emerald? How do you capture gold? How do you capture a diamond, you guys? Here's the thing. You have to duplicate yourself and other people. You get paid to lead. You get paid to lead. Okay? So you have to realize that there is going to be a season where you're going to have to work now to collect checks forever. Because I want you guys to look at that chart and realize this. If you build your business right for a season, and let's say you get to the emerald level and you build your business right for a season, realize that that pay will very likely waver very little. Okay? And I'm painting this picture because I want you to know that that's a forever, you're building a forever paycheck. And I want you to think about your job right now. The day you leave your job, let's say I taught for 10 years, you guys, and my last day teaching was my last day teaching. My last day teaching was my last paycheck. I'm still not getting a paycheck from Alvin High School for my 10 years of work there. I've worked 2.5 hard years, very, very intentional years in AvoCare, and I get a paycheck, whether it's a 9-star emerald or a diamond paycheck, almost every single 2 weeks, whether I'm on vacation, whether I'm in the Bahamas, whether I am working my business, whether I'm helping somebody else, whether I'm being a mom all day. So I want you guys to understand that what you're looking at is residual income. So how do you capture residual income, you guys? Because if that is a leadership-based pay plan, you have to understand that leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Leadership is influence. You guys, we have over 400,000 distributors in the world of AvoCare, and only 2% capture leadership pay. I hope you caught that. Over 400,000 distributors in the world of AvoCare, and only a little over 2% capture leadership pay. Okay? Leadership, you guys, comes with high demands. Okay? So I will be honest about all of that up front. It comes with high demands. You will have to grow personally. You will have to realign some priorities. You will have to go out there and serve people. You will have to be willing to blaze a trail. You will have to be willing to fight when nobody else will. See, because here's the reality is that leaders are trailblazers, and they live a life that most people want to live, but will never have by doing things that others never will do. People watch leaders, you guys. People watch people that are trying to become leaders. So every single thing you say and do leaves an influence. Whether it is positive or negative, you have to understand that. Every single thing you say and do leaves influence. There is no neutral, you guys. Leadership is really truly learning how to guide somebody to where they want to go in their life. So you have to be willing to embrace the journey of guiding people to where they want to go in life. So if the real money is leadership based and leadership is influence, how am I influencing my team and others that are watching me? So how does that really even look? Let's talk about number one, what is your level of belief? You guys, what do you believe about AvoCare? What do you believe about yourself? Because here's the reality, your level of belief in yourself, your level of belief in AvoCare will always show up in your actions. So what do you believe? Do you believe that capturing those great paychecks is not for you? I mean, do you think, I've never really had it great anyway. I've always kind of been dealt the rough cards in life. So why am I going to start believing for more now? Why am I going to start thinking that that's for me now? Because that's for other people. Do you believe that your life is good enough? I'm good. I mean, we can pay the bills. We're not struggling. No one's declaring bankruptcy. I mean, yeah, my kids never see my husband because he's working a lot, and he takes extra jobs, and yeah, we haven't been on a family vacation, and we never got to take a honeymoon, but we're good. I mean, we're good. Do you believe that you're good? Do you believe that that's for other people? I mean, that's for Ben and Jen Kaufman. I mean, they owned a gym. It was easier for them. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Do you believe things like that? Do you believe that one of the things I used to think, I mean, like, I call them shiny people. That's for the pretty people. That's for the people that everybody likes to be around. That's for the people that know a ton of people. That's for the people that are easy to that make friends easy. That's for them. It's not for me because I'm an introvert. Building an advocate, that's not for me. Do you believe that nobody wants to follow you? Well, if leadership means you're leading people, nobody wants to follow me. I know nobody wants to follow me. Do you believe that? You guys, do you believe that our products work? Do you believe that our products are the most elite nutritional products on the planet? Do you believe that? Do you believe that there is a reason why our products are in every single NFL locker room? Do you believe there's a reason why Rich Froning takes our products? Do you believe that there's a reason why our pay plan is taught at Harvard? Do you believe that our pay plan works? You guys, do you believe that you can't build an Avocare business? Oh, it's just too hard. I can't. I can't. It's just too hard. I mean, I've tried. I tried that. Do you believe that you don't have the time? What do you believe, you guys? Because what you believe is 100% going to follow your actions. Period. Your actions will always follow your beliefs. So let's talk about how can we start evolving some of your beliefs. How do you look at our products, you guys? Do you look at Spark and M&S as great energy? Do you look at Spark and think everybody already knows about Spark? I've talked to everybody. Everybody knows about Spark. I'm not going to possibly find anybody that wants to do anything other than Spark because everybody I know knows about Spark. Or do you look at our products and think, oh my gosh, I love the fact that Spark sits on my kitchen counter every day because that is literally my ticket to a bigger destiny. That is my ticket to the honeymoon I never had. That is my ticket to getting my kids on a vacation, to going to Disney, to getting out of my job, to having an extra $500 a month so I'm not having to worry about who's paying the electricity bill. Because you guys, it can be Spark, and our products can either be energy or great products for you. So you can hide behind our products and talk about our amazing products to everybody. And that's great because we do have powerful products that work. Or you can look at them as your vehicle to freedom. Because here's the reality, just like I said, somebody is going to get paid 5 ways because of those products that sit on your kitchen counter. Someone. And so someone out there is going to decide, okay, time out. So you're telling me that the same products that I take, you're going to teach me, you're going to mentor me, you're going to show me the ropes, and I'm going to earn income along the way. Okay, let's go. There's a very different mindset in somebody that looks at our products as just great products and somebody that looks at our products and thinks, you know what, I didn't grow up thinking I was going to be a vitamin salesperson, but so what? I grew up thinking that I was called to accomplish something. So if it's a vehicle, the Avocare is the vehicle to accomplish that, then let's go. Let's move. So it all starts with a decision, you guys. It all starts about deciding. You have to decide, you guys. What do you want your next 3 years to look like? What do you want your life to look like in 5 years? What do you want your life to look at like this Christmas? Have you even thought about that? Have you even thought about the fact, what's your 10-year plan? Do you even have a 10-year plan? Because here's where you have to get to a point, you guys. If your best efforts, your best education, every single thing that you've ever decided and worked towards got you to where you are today, is it really truly fulfilling the life of your dreams? Is it really truly fulfilling the fact of you've got everything that you feel like you were called to accomplish? Your kids do. Your marriage is where it needs to be. Your finances are where it wants to be. You drive a car that you're wondering every single morning, I pray it starts. Where is your life, you guys? Because all of your best efforts, good, bad, or indifferent, got you to where you are today. You have to decide, what kind of legacy are you going to leave? What kind of legacy are you going to leave for your children, for other people? Is it just going to be a good enough? Is it going to be, you know what, we were good, we had a good life, and there's nothing wrong with a good life, so hear my heart. There is nothing wrong with a good life, but for Ben Kaufman and I, we want to live an extraordinary life. So here's the reality of making a decision. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no action, then you have not truly decided, period. You guys, so many times in the world of Avocare, we hear people that have such a need, such an incredible need for something to change in their lives, and they see Avocare as an answer for that, and it can be an answer for that. But we also don't ever see action attached to the need. So that tells me that they have not decided that Avocare is their vehicle, period, because their job isn't getting them there. And what are you going to do? Go get another job? Well, that's just going to give you less time. So what other options do you have, you guys? Honestly. And if you have other options, that's great. Go do something with those options. But if you don't have other options and you're like Ben and I, and we were school teachers and we were thinking, you know what? I like my job. I like teaching kids, but I don't like my pay. I don't like my lack of time freedom. I don't like a lot of things attached to that. So what else am I going to do? Go find another teaching job? I'm back in the same boat. Go find another job? Then I have less time. So for us, we decided, you know what? Somebody's getting that leadership pay. Why not me? So when you decide to go to work, when you decide that this is your last ditch effort, you can really truly tell by an action. So let me tell you about why, you guys. Why for Ben and Jen Kaufman? Okay, because you've got to get to the point where, just like Ben and I, okay, this is where I'll tell you guys, for Ben and I in the beginning of our Avocare journey, Avocare for us was great products. We looked at Spark and thought, that's great. Everybody needs this kind of, energy in the mornings. Everybody needs to get off, a pot of coffee before 11 a.m. like Ben did. But guess what? We weren't going to go out of our way to tell them about it. So Spark was great products. We told people when they asked us. We occasionally told some people when it came up in conversation, but it was just an extra thing for us. We were good. Life was good. We got married. We were each other's best friends. Life was good. We both were teachers, so we had the same schedule. We were off work at the same time. We had summer vacations together, so everything was good. But then things changed when Ben and I decided to chase a dream. We decided to become self-employed. So we traded our 40-hour-a-week job for a 100-hour-a-week job, and things dramatically changed in our marriage. You guys, we became severely in time debt. Massive time debt. I'm talking about where you work 100 hours a week. And here's what I'll tell people that always tell me that I don't have time to work in Avocare business. That is false. That is so false, because if you really truly did not have time, you would do absolutely anything to get time back with the people you love. I guarantee you, you would do anything to get time back. So for me, I got to a point where I realized something had to change, period. We got to a level in our marriage where it was fighting and arguing, and that man that I looked at that I knew that I was going to spend the rest of my life with, the man that I looked at that I knew was my best friend, started to become my own enemy in my home. So what did we do? We decided to get very intentional about building an Avocare business. And fast forward to today, you guys, 2.5 years later, we went from $1,600 a month to about $20,000 to $30,000 a month in 2.5 years. Now, how did that happen? We got intentional and we were willing to fight. We were willing to fight every single day for something larger than ourselves, for a prize we couldn't see, for a prize that we couldn't touch, for something that we knew was coming. Every single day, we were fighting for something we knew was coming. We couldn't see it. There were no guarantees, nothing. But what was my alternative? To step back into a situation where I was watching my marriage fail before my eyes. So here's where we are today, you guys. Ben and I are both work from home parents. Actually, we're full-time parents and part-time workers, if you want to be honest. Kaylee Grace Kaufman, you can see her incredible little smiling face there on the screen. She has never known a day of daycare, and if your child has, that's okay. We were blessed with the fact that we got intentional before she showed up. She has never known a day of daycare. And for Ben and I, we really truly realized that for us, we're going to fight every single day so that Kaylee has a model of what it looks like to go fight for a bigger cause than yourself, for what it looks like to have a spirit of adventure. I want her to live a life of adventure. I want her to live a life of dreaming. I don't want her to live a life of thinking good enough is okay. No, that's not okay for the Kaufmans. The Kaufmans 100% believe that you get one chance. That I want her to know that you can dream bigger. You can fight for bigger. And how is she going to know that if her mom and dad don't do it? You guys, so for us, whether you're calling, whether you feel like your purpose is that you're supposed to go do missions around the world, maybe you feel like you were put on this earth to go dig water wells, maybe you feel like you were put on this earth to be a fishing guide, maybe you're in a situation where, you know what, I was put on this earth to enjoy my grandkids and I don't have a retirement. What, maybe you just think right now, I just need a honeymoon because I never got a honeymoon. What is it you are really willing to fight for, you guys? Because here's the reality, if you don't know what you're fighting for, then you're probably not fighting, which means you're probably standing still. And here's the harsh truth about that. You're either going to get it done now, it's either burning a hole in your belly, it's either making you cry, it's making you disgusted. It's making your purpose has to make you to the point where you realize you're either going to get it done now or you're very likely never going to get it done. You guys, and that is a hard truth, but it is true. So if you are not getting it done, you haven't found your purpose. Okay? And very quickly, you guys, I will add this on as well because I'm looking at Kaylee and I know so many parents that have such a heart to have more time with their kids. And I can tell you that very quickly, your purpose is your children a lot of times, but very quickly, they can become your excuse. You will use your kids as an excuse for not to have lack of time of doing things. It is incredible to me how people will say, I need XYZ to get this with my kids, but the next thing you know, you turn around and they're not coming to anything because of their kids. You guys, you have to realize that for a season, you're going to have to miss some things to not miss anything in the future. But you have to get your thinking right about that. So let's talk about this because you have to realize, you guys, a lot of people live in time debt. A lot of people live in lack. A lot of people live in a, I wish I could. A lot of people live in a, I don't have enough. A lot of people live in a, I wish I could do more. And you have to realize that at the end of the day, 99% of those times is about money, whether it's lack of time, lack of funding, lack of opportunity, lack of availability to say yes, whatever that is, it is about money. Okay? So here's the reality is that money is going to get you back time. Okay? You've got to get in your mind that you're okay with money. Okay? Because you guys, you have to understand that money is neutral. Money is not good or bad. Money is neutral. Okay? The desire or the love of money is where people get in trouble. Money is neutral. So here's where we were. When Ben and I, when we got to the point where we had enough extra money because of our intention with AdvoCare, we were able to get some more coaches to cover some classes, which gave us back time, which meant that Ben and I could, all of a sudden, we could start to do date night. All of a sudden, we could start to, hang out later in the mornings. We could start to have a sense of normalcy back in our marriage that was missing. And what the catalyst for that was because we were able to acquire more money and in turn pay for the things that we needed that freed up the time so we had it. And here's the other thing about money, you guys, is that a lot of times when people are building an Avocare business, I hear a lot of people say this: I don't want my friends to think I'm making money off of them. Great. I didn't want my friends to think that either. So that tells me one of two things. Number one, you don't understand our pay plan, period. Okay? Because if you understood our pay plan and you really loved your friend, you would get them to 40% off so you don't make a dime off of them. Whether that meant you had to go to work with them to talk to every single person they know, whether that, I don't know what that means, but if you truly want to help your friends, and you truly don't want to make a dime off of them, then you will show them about the 40% off level, you guys. Nobody ever wants anybody to think that they're trying to make money off of them, but that goes back to your belief. Do you believe that the products will bring value to their life? Do you believe that the products will bring value to their home? Do you believe the business opportunity could help their finances? Do you really truly believe that you could serve as in a capacity in their life that's bigger than friend? Maybe you could serve in a capacity of life of somebody that connects them to an answer you didn't even know they needed, you guys. So you've got to get past the hang up of money. Money is neutral, period. So how do you capture money in Avocare? We have an incredible system in place that's called the success system. You guys, it all revolves staying connected to your leader, period. Because here's what I can tell you, and hear my heart on this: your leader will only chase you for so long, period. They know what you want. You've told them what you want. They have a heart to help you. Nobody that's in a leadership position didn't get there because they're selfish. They got there because they learned how to serve other people. So your leader will only wait for you for so long. Your leader will only reach out to you and encourage and say, hey, buddy, who do you got? Hey, who can we work with next? Hey, when can we get a mixer started? Hey, how can I help? For so long before they realize you're just haven't decided. You either don't have the belief in our products or our pay plan, or you haven't decided what you want. So your leader will only chase you for so long, you guys. And here's the beautiful part of the success system. You are really, truly only as alone as you want to be in this business. If you become a master connector and you learn how to share your story, put spark in somebody's body, share a couple of stories, put an impact magazine in their hand and follow up with them, and maybe the next thing they see is a 2-on-1 with your leader, a 3-way call with your leader, a webinar, they come to a mixer. Maybe after that they've seen a mixer or had a call or anything like that, they've had another exposure of Avocare. Maybe they showed up to a large group event. You've got, you guys, that is built in a circle for a reason, okay? You wouldn't take somebody that just heard about Spark to Success School very likely. Most people aren't going to go right to Success School. Most people, a large group event, right when they don't know anything about Avocare and they show up for a large group event, some people might be overwhelmed, okay? So you've got to learn how to use the success system literally as layers of conviction. Learn how to connect events. Learn how to connect your story, Spark, Impact Magazine, your leader story to a 2-on-1, to a 3-way call, to a mixer, to a larger group event. Layers of connection and conviction will build your business here. What else, you guys? You also have to understand that in the success system, there are no shortcuts, okay? There is not a fast track to diamond. There is not anything like that. But the beautiful thing is there's also no limits, okay? So you've got to get on products. You have, period, you guys. If the only thing you take is Spark, guess what you're going to talk about? Spark. Guess what you're going to sell? Spark. Guess what your team will sell? Spark. So if you don't take products and share and talk about products, very likely your team won't either, you guys. So you've got to, at minimum, bare bones, be on our #1 and #2 product, which is Spark and M&S. And you should be teaching that to your team. You've got to understand the value of having third-party credit validation. You guys, you've got to understand that your leader is there for a reason. Your leader is there to have bigger vision, bigger stories, bigger realities, better explanations, more wisdom, more knowledge, so that that person that you're talking to actually gets value for their time. They actually get the right order customized for them. They actually get their questions answered. They actually understand the benefit of becoming a member of the Advocare versus just buying full price. So you guys, you've got to also understand that you've got to get really good at mastering third party validation. You've also got to understand that you got to start speaking vision. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Because again, Spark is either a great product to you, or Spark equals hopes and dreams for your family and other families. You also have to realize that you've got to get trained, period. The job you sit in right now, very likely, if they told you that in order for you to keep your job or get a raise, if you had to go to a training on Saturday for 2 hours, would you show up? Probably you would, because guess what? It's your job. So you have to have that same mentality about Advocare. If you're happy with your paycheck, don't show up. That's when you can stop showing up to trainings, is when you're happy with your paycheck, you guys. So in Success School, period, end of story, is a must for every single person in the world of Advocare that wants to build a business past a couple $100s. It is where our leaders come, and top leaders come and train us about business tools and business strategies. It's where our doctors come and train us on products. They're available, they're out so that you can ask questions. It's where our every single thing that you need to know to move your business to the next level happens at training events and Success School. So that is where really truly that comes into play, is all of that. And that all is tied around you. That is all tied around you taking ownership of your business. So again, let's say, so to summarize where we are. So if I get leadership pay, and leadership pay is forever, I've got to believe that the products work and the pay plan is for me. I've got to decide my path. I've got to find something to fight for. Okay, I'm ready to fight. Now what? How do I get success fast in Advocare? Well, number one is you have to get to advisor, period. Until you're an advisor, you're only eligible for 2 ways to get paid. You only are eligible for retail and wholesale pay. Once you become an advisor, you're eligible for 5 ways you get paid. You're going to maximize your savings, and you're going to maximize your profit. There's 2 ways to get to advisor. You can either flat out do the investment of the $2,100 investment with a built-in about $700 to $900 profit, really. You get 30% off the first order, or you can do it the second way, which is work your way there, okay? Now, Ben and I do not teach 3 pay periods. Do you have three pay periods to work your way there? Yes, you do. However, if we find somebody that's fired up and says, I need this to work now, and they tell me that they can't do the $2,100, I say, great, who do you know? Let's go to work today so that you can be a fully qualified advisor this pay period, wake up next pay period, and be eligible for all 5 streams of income, because you need money now. So let's go to work. And here's the reality, you guys. You have to realize that there is a difference between I can't do a $2,100 investment or I won't do a $2,100 investment. And only you know your pocketbook. Only you know your bank account. Some people can't, and they really truly can't. But some people just won't. And there's a very different mindset there. So let's talk about what's next. What comes after that is your vision. Because dissatisfaction and discouragement are not caused by the absence of thinking, but by the absence of vision. You guys, here's a sad reality, is that most people have vacations planned out better than the strategy for their life and how to live the life they dream. Most people spend more time planning vacations than they do planning their life. So if your life goes in the direction of what you read, what you watch, what you speak, what you listen to, who your friends are, you guys, you have to ask yourself, where is my life going? Okay? Because lack of vision will keep you exactly where you are, period. If it is not mapped out, you're not going to ever be able to talk about where you're going. If you don't have a clear-cut vision and it's not mapped out, guess what? You're going nowhere, very likely, and you're not talking about it. So if there's never any target, There's never any failure. There's also never any successes. And here's also something to be aware of is that fear will trap vision every time. You have a lot of people come into this business and they have a fear of failure. They're scared that if they step out and try something totally different, that it's not going to work. Guess what? Like I said, there's no guarantees. That's where it comes back to your mindset, your thinking, and your attitude. A lot of people also have a fear of rejection. What if people tell me no? Well, what if people tell you no? Is it gonna do anything? No. Is it gonna impact your family in a negative way? No. It's just a no. You guys, it is just a no. Are you gonna be told no? Yes. Are you gonna be rejected? Yes. Will you fail at things? Yes. So if we can all just get over the fact that fear is fake, fear is intended to trap you and keep you from your bigger destiny. Fear is intended to trap your vision. Fear is intended to keep you just completely isolated and stuck in your cycle of frustration. Here's what you have to do is anytime that you're feeling fear, is you have to realize you are looking through a microscope. You're not looking at the big picture. And if you don't have a big picture, then you're never going to step out of fear, you guys. You have to realize, is this the life I want? Because if this is not the life I want, then you've got to start painting your preferred vision, your preferred future for you. So in order to become fearless, you've got to chase the bigger picture, you guys. Get a crystal clear vision of your preferred life. I don't care what that looks like. I don't care if that means you open magazines and you tear out pictures of the places you want to visit, the places you want to take your kids. I don't care if that means that you look at, what does your house want to look like? What kind of givings do you want to give back to organizations or churches? What kind of time do you want to invest in other people? What kind of life do you want to lead in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? What is your big picture, you guys? That is your vision. You have to get a clear vision because that is what keeps you going through a storm. Because the storms will come, you guys. The storms will come. And once you have a clear-cut vision, you have to decide to sell out. You have to decide, only you can decide when that's enough. I've had enough. That is enough. Only you decide when that is, you guys. And when you've made that decision, that's when you know it's time to sell out and realize that there is no going back, period. There is no quitting, because what are you going to quit to? What you already don't want? There is no quitting. Once you sell out, you start to work this business like it was your job. You don't let no's affect your attitude. You realize that's part of it. That's part of the game. People are going to tell me no. People are going to tell me one thing and not show up. People are going to tell me that Spark didn't make them feel any energy. People are going to tell me that the cleanse made them throw up. You're going to hear all of that stuff, you guys. But when you're sold out and you realize that this is 100% your vehicle to a bigger destiny, guess what? None of that stuff matters. It doesn't. You're going to hear it. When you realize that only for a season are you going to have to sell out, only for a season are you going to have to work in a way very few people will, you embrace the fact that it's for a season. Ben and I worked for 2 years, harder than we've ever worked in our life, and I live every single day looking into the eyes of my husband and my little girl. Every single day. Was a 2-year investment worth it? 100%. Would I do it again? You better believe I would, you guys. So you've got to get to a point in your life where you realize that you've got to have a no excuses mentality, period. If you start running through your list and develop this mindset, if your current job would buy that excuse for why you're not recruiting, why you're not retailing products, why you're not showing up to events, why you're not getting trained, would it fly? Would you keep your job? Because if your job told you that you had to move $3,000 worth of products every single 2 weeks to keep your job, would you make it happen? I guarantee you most of you would. If your job told you that you had to go get trained once a month on Saturdays, that means you were going to have to find a babysitter for your kids. You were going to have to make some arrangements. You were going to have to say no to some birthday parties and things like that. If your job told you to do that, would you do it? Very likely you would. If your job told you that you had to go talk to people every single day, you have to talk to new people every single day, whether you know them or not. You have to find people, put yourself around people, talk to people. Would you go do it? Very likely you would, you guys. So here's what you can do. Is some of the best things that you can do is get beat early on, you guys, because you have to realize that when you get beat early on, you're going to have to rise up and keep fighting. Accept no excuses. Get a thick skin now, you guys. Get a thick skin now. So what does being sold out look like? We all know that we get 4 ways to engage in AdvoCare. You can either be a retail customer, a wholesale distributor, an advisor, a hobbyist, or a business builder. What does that look like? So what are you? Are you a 3, a hobby business builder, or a 4? Here's what you got to know. If you're a 3 and you're okay with being a 3, we're okay with you being a 3, okay? But you've got to be real. These next few slides, it's like mirror time. It's time for you to get real about what is causing you to not move in AdvoCare. What are some stumbling blocks? Why are you frustrated, you guys? Because if you want to be a 4, you're going to have to change some things to be a 4. Because the difference in a paycheck from a 3 to a 4 is thousands of dollars. So what is a 3? A 3 is somebody that's an advisor. A 3 is somebody that works their business around when it's convenient for them. A 3 is for somebody that says, you know what, after I lose 25 pounds, I'm going to tell people about products. After I learn about every single product and what they all do, and I'm really well versed on the products, that's when I'll start my business. I already know. Oh, I already know. I don't need to get on another training webinar. I don't need to show up for that. I already know all that. I've already talked to everybody. I'm out of people. I mean, like, everybody already, knows about Spark, so I don't have anybody else to talk to. They talk about, well, I'm hoping this business works for me. We'll see. It's a we'll see attitude. Well, or they think, well, if Joe would just finally start signing people up, it would move me to the advisor level. Or, well, if my sponsor, if my leader would just, help me, it would do this for me. Or, maybe they always have, you can always tell a 3 because they'll always tell you, I'm back. Hey, I know I was, unplugged for a while, or, this and that, but I'm back. I'm ready. It's going to happen again. And that's great. We're going to always welcome people back and hope they actually go get it done this time, you guys. But you've got to understand, let's just see is not a championship mentality, because here's the reality is that your mortgage company doesn't care if you're trying AdvoCare. Your electric company doesn't care if you're trying, okay? So you've got to become real about, are you a 4? Because if you want to be a 4, here's what a 4 looks like. It's about understanding that we are a retail business, that you retail products always with stories ready. Your story, your leader's story, stories from the magazine, you are ready. You understand that passion trumps knowledge, that you always have impact magazines on hand when you walk out of your door every day, Spark packets, water bottles, that you get your leader on 3-way calls, that you talk to every single person that you see around you, that you attend trainings, you're on team calls, you recruit, you retail, you hit $3,000 worth of products because your job depends on it. You call your leader and you ask for wisdom. You talk about where you're frustrated. You seek wisdom, you guys. You read. You submit to personal growth. You attend events with guests, you guys. You understand that people are your asset. You understand that, yes, I can show up to every single AdvoCare event there is, but if I don't bring people with me, or if I'm not talking to people, then I'm just spinning my wheels. I might as well stay home. They stay in action. They stay in communication with their leader. They understand that no is not the end of the world. They go for the no. They say is because they know every single no they get is one person closer to a yes. And all you need in AdvoCare to get to the level Ben and I are at is 12 yeses. Can you go through 1,000 no's to get 12 yeses to live your forever destiny? You decide, you guys. And they understand the difference between talking and speaking. Now, we all get the same distributor kit, you guys. We all have the same products. We all have the same pay plan. We all have the same opportunity. We all have the same access to trainings. We all have the same access to events. It is an equal playing ground in Avocare. Nobody has any advantage. We do not come to the table with a resume and you get picked in a certain job spot. Here's the reality is you've got to face the fact that it's nobody's fault that you've got this distributor kit and it's a Bentley and it's parked in your garage. It is nobody's fault, you guys, but you can also decide that you want to start driving that Bentley like it's legitimately the car that it should be. So you've got to decide you're going to get there. Wherever you're there is going to be. Is it $500 a month? Is it the honeymoon that you always wanted to take? Is it Ruby? Is it Diamond? Where is your there? You have to realize that the best is yet to come. You've got to see your business beyond your family, your friends, your community. You have to decide that. You have to decide that you are going to have to branch out past your family, your friends, your community. Here's the thing, you guys, is that all of America, we see all of those reality TV shows, and we see all of America doing extreme things for money. They'll live in Arctic temperatures with no clothes. They will eat bugs. They will do all sorts of things at a chance at winning money. But the craziest thing to me is that people won't do what's normal, like talk to people to get the prize. And here's the thing, is that we all can claim the prize. On those shows, one person claims a prize. In Avocare, we all claim a prize. And it's residual. They claim it one time. We claim it forever. So you can draw a line in the sand, pretend to start over. You can decide tonight, draw a line in the sand, pretend to start over, and go Diamond all over again, you guys. Go Ruby. Go $500 a month. I don't care. But you've got to realize that nobody's no is bigger than your family, period. So you've got to be open for business. Do you have tools? Do you have product on hand? You cannot, Subway doesn't open without bread. Why would you open a business without Spark? Why would you open a business without Impact magazines? Are you connected? Do you know your leaders' events? Do you check your emails? Do you check the team Facebook page? Are you connected? Are you open for business and intentional with what you're doing? Are you plugged in? Do you bring people to business opportunity meetings? Do you get on the team calls? Do you already have your ticket for Success School? Do you realize that Danny and Diane McDaniel, top money earners in the company, have a phenomenal 6-week training course out there called Avocare Coaching? You can watch it in your convenience. Do you know that Mike Wade is in the Woodlands Thursday night, tomorrow night? Are you planning on showing up with people, you guys? So fours know the calendar. They're connected to their leader. They stay plugged in because they understand the value of being plugged in, because their connection equals their success. They run for incentives, whether it's ours, whether it's Avocare's. They run for incentives. Here's also the reality is that they know their story. They know their leader's story. They speak with passion about where they're going because they understand that passion takes them farther than knowledge. And just like Danny McDaniel always says, he who tells the most stories wins. Here's the reality, you guys, is most people carry a weak message. A weak message in Avocare means weak recruiting. You're so worried about being so casual about it that it's coming across as not a big deal to you. So if it's not a big deal to you, why should it be a big deal to other people? Too often people are just not being strong enough with their message. They're so worried about feeling uncomfortable or making other people feel uncomfortable. Let me give you permission, you guys. Your vision for your life should be so big that it makes you uncomfortable. Your vision for your life, when you speak it out, should make you uncomfortable, because when Ben and I were making $1,500 a month and I told people by the end of the year we were making $10,000 a month, I was uncomfortable. Okay, so if you're not uncomfortable talking about your vision, let me give you permission. Please speak your vision. And the other thing about making other people uncomfortable, you guys, you're called to pull out the champion in other people. You're called for that. So you've got to speak strongly, because leave them with their dignity, but you've got to make other people uncomfortable in a way that it releases them to believe bigger for themselves. You are called to pull out the champion other people. So you've got to learn how to master asking questions, okay? Because too many times people talk too much, period. You talk so much. In fact, you talk so much that you sell people on Advocare and then you buy it right back because you won't stop talking. So you've got to learn how to mirror people. When people ask you, so how much money do you make? You've got to learn how to ask, well, I mean, how much money do you want to make? I'd love to hear that. You've got to learn how to mirror people. You've got to connect with people by asking questions, listening, and being quiet. Silence will make you a millionaire. That is another Danny McDaniel quote. So why aren't people doing what you want? Why are you talking to everybody you know? Why are you legitimately out there trying and talking to people, but nobody's doing what you want them to do? Well, what's the message you're delivering? Because if you're talking to everybody, but you're not calling your leader and asking for wisdom, nobody knows what you're saying. Nobody can point you in the right direction. So what message are you conveying? Who do you know, you guys? You have to understand that you have to have people in Advocare. We are a people business, period. Okay? You know people. It always blows my mind when I hear people say, I don't know anyone. You know people, you guys. Look at your Facebook. Look at your phone. Who do you go to church with? Who sits in the cubicle next to you? Where does life take you? Are your kids in sports? Who do you sit next to when your child is in practice? Where does the grocery store take you? So you've got to understand that you know people, and if you're out of people, legitimately out of people, guess what? There's booths, there's run clubs, there's mom clubs, there is ways. So if your desire and your vision and your sellout is big enough, you will find people. I guarantee you will find people. So what does that all look like? We're starting to wrap up this whole concept, you guys. You've got to understand that as a leader, you look for fours. Because remember, we're talking to you. You are rising up to start to become a leader. Your influence, your choices, your actions, your decisions, your language, your belief, your vision. You love your twos. You love your happy discount customers. You love the people that just want a couple $100s a month, but you look for fours. You draw circles around fours, you guys. So the one thing that you have to understand is that the fours, how do you identify a four? You identify a four by their actions, their PGV, their attendance at trainings, their recruiting, their seeking wisdom, their time, their efforts always match our time. We love everybody. But Ben and I are so mission-minded. We are so clear about where we are going with our life. We are so clear about the legacy that we want to leave for Kaylee. We are mission-minded. That means I am spending 95% of my time when I work my business with my fours. I love my twos. I love my threes. I'm going to help answer them in the time I have, but I am working with the people that are consistent and persistent, you guys. Here's the thing. Once you develop the attitude that Advocare is like a deck of cards, okay? There are 52 cards in a deck. 16 cards have high value for what you're trying to accomplish. 36 all shake out to be the rest, and there's always 2 jokers in a crowd. There's always. So you never know what you're getting when you talk to people, you guys. You never know. You never know if that person is going to be an ace. You never know if that person's just going to be a happy Spark user for the rest of their life. You never know if that next person is your John and Heather Pranat, now diamonds. You guys, you never know, but you've got to be willing to try, because if you don't try, it's always a no. So let's talk about how to get intentional. A 90-day plan. People hear about it all the time. You have to have a 90-day plan. If you have a 90, I always heard about this 90-day plan, and I thought, okay, time out. What is a 90-day plan? Basically, a 90-day plan is business mechanics. You mastering the concept of business mechanics. Excuse me, I had to have a drink. You have to, because here's the reality, you guys. Without a plan, you're going nowhere. Okay? Without a plan, there's no action. Without action is frustration, and too much frustration. And just like I said in the beginning, you'll quit. So you have to be consistent and persistent with your daily method of operations. You have to know victory is certain with a plan. Ask any coach that steps on a football field. Do they step on a football field without a plan for how to win? No, they don't just show up. They have a plan on how to win. It's the same concept here. You have to have a victory mindset. You guys step onto the field to play with a plan. So you've also got to understand that what you do today, the fruits of what you do today will show up in 90 days. Because too often, so many people will work AdvoCare for a month and say, it didn't work for me, I'm quitting. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? You worked this business, quote, quote, worked this business for a couple of months and you want to quit? Did you think that a few months was going to replace your 10-year career? No, it's not going to. So if you can embrace the fact that it is a process of 90-day plans to get you where you want to go, that is great, you guys. But basically 90-day plans is you've got to develop a calendar mindset, period. Is this calendar 100% accurate? No, but this is just a model to show you what a typical 90-day plan looks like. You have mixers once a week. You do three-way calls. Maybe that day your DMO is just following up with somebody that started a cleanse. You know when your leaders' webinars are. You know when team mixers are. Here's the thing: if your diamond leader's face is on a business opportunity meeting, is on a webinar, you should be in attendance, period. If somebody else's face is on it and you can get people there, go. If somebody else's face is on it and you want to go get trained, go. If somebody else's face is on it and you don't have anybody and you want to spend the night with your kids and order a pizza, spend the night with your kids and order a pizza, you guys. But you've also got to understand that you've got to seek wisdom and you've got to be plugged in with people, or you will quit because you will end up frustrated. So the next two slides are just also example of a 90-day plan. So starting to wrap up, the last couple of training points that I have is developing a champion mindset. First of all, Ben and I would just want to say that we completely honor you guys for being in the game, okay? Because you guys are the ones that are in the trenches. You guys are the ones that are out there taking the hits. You guys are the ones out there getting the no's, getting the cleanse made me want to throw up. The spark didn't work for me. Can I refund this? I didn't like the flavor of that. I don't want to swallow pills. Do you have anything? You guys are out there are the ones that are facing all of that. And let me just tell you that here's the reality: is having a champion mindset is realizing that you have got to rise above, period. You're going to take the hits, but you're going to keep fighting. You're not going to complain, because everybody in the world complains. A champion does not complain. A champion rises above. You're not going to gossip. Champions don't gossip. Champions don't blame other people for the reality of their own four walls. Champions have a victory mindset. They realize that here's the reality: is that the day that you see yourself clearly going somewhere in life is the day you will walk with confidence in what you have your hands on here. So here's also the last thought about champion mindset. You guys, do not settle for good enough, because good enough is going to rob you from greatness and it will steal your destiny. If you see yourself winning, you've got to see your kids winning. You've got to see other people winning. Have the champion mindset of victory and speak it every single day. But you also have to realize that people are buying you first. So how do people perceive you? Do you dress like somebody that is going somewhere in life? Do you dress like somebody that could lead an army of people to a multi-million-dollar company? Do you show up to business opportunity meetings in your gym clothes and your holy jeans and your baggy sweatshirts? Or do you show up being cut? Do you definitely, have, for men, you need to be well shaved. Whether you have a nice goatee that you trim up, you need to, probably take off the G-Shock when you're walking into business meetings. You need to take off your, smelly coaching watch. I mean, Ben would speak to that too. He was guilty of that for many times until Danny McDaniel called him out on that. Ladies, you've got to realize that you've got to cover yourself up. Here's a great tip from Sherry Wright. She says if you're anywhere below your knees are showing, then your shoulders and arms should not show. If you're going to show your shoulders and arms, then you should cover your legs. You guys, ladies, at no point in time should cleavage be showing. Okay, so you've got to dress like a professional. You've got to dress like you intend 100% to look and live like a champion. You've got to have people that look at you and think, I don't know what they do, but they're clearly important. They're clearly self-important. They're clearly going somewhere in life. How do you talk? Do you talk with confidence about where you're going in Avocare? Do you talk about confidence with our products? What does your Facebook look like? I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Do you talk about ingredients or do you talk about stories? Because if you talk about ingredients, chances are your business is stuck. If you talk about stories and what's happened for other people and products, your business is growing. That goes back to the 30 and 2. Do you know your 30-second story, your 2-minute story? How do you live your life? Are you an adder? Do you add value to situations? Are you an energy suck? Do you drain people? Are you a subtractor? Do people walk away and think, oh my gosh, I need a bath? Seriously, do you walk into a room and complain? If other people are complaining, do you start complaining with them? Do you talk on Facebook about how you have so much sinus pressure you feel like your eyes are going to pop out of your head, and 2 hours later you're talking about getting healthy with Avocare? You guys, you've got to realize that you are either an adder or a subtractor. There's no neutral. I challenge you to be an adder in every single area of your life. Do you live a life of transformation? Do you submit to personal growth and seeking wisdom? You guys, what does your Facebook really say about you? What do you really represent? Okay? Because if your testimony, if your story, who you are, if you share that constantly, great. If your pictures, because if I went and I looked at your timeline, your pictures, your timeline, every single thing that you share, say, get tagged in, what would your Facebook tell me? Would you look like somebody that is living a life that I want to follow? Would you look like somebody that is serious about changing the lives and destinies of other people? Would you look like somebody that beyond a shadow of a doubt is business-minded, takes themselves seriously, and is living a life of purpose? Or would you look like somebody that they're all over the place? One minute they're talking about not feeling good. The next minute they're talking about how great Spark is. The next minute they're talking about what they're doing this weekend and how Rehydrate's a great hangover cure and all of, I mean, what does your Facebook say about you? Ladies, look at your pictures. Guys, look at the pictures that your friends are tagging you in. Look at the things that people are posting on your timeline. Don't check out of the fact that Facebook is really truly just a portrait, an online portrait of who you are and what you represent. Go through your pictures, look at them. If you feel like if I had a new champion looking at my pictures, would I want them to see that? And if it's iffy, you guys get rid of it. Okay? Get rid of it. So just be very aware that what you post and what you have reflects everything about you. You've also got to increase your thinking. Are you willing to read? Are you willing to call your leader and say, what's a great book? Here's where I am in my business. What's a great book for that? Are you willing to put down the TV remote? Are you willing to put down the trash talk, magazines? Are you willing to stop taking part in every single thing that most of America does and start doing the other things that very few people in America do? That are the people that live the life that we all look at and think, oh my gosh, how do they have a private island? Well, because every single home, if you walk into $1 million home, what's the difference between $1 million home and a $250,000 home? $1 million home has a library, you guys. There's a reason that it has a library. It's because leaders are readers, period. What books are you reading? If you are not reading books, get your hands on books. I don't care if it's audiobooks. You've got to start putting good things in your brain. You've also got to be willing to identify distractions, okay? Is fantasy football more important than talking to people? Is softball, your softball league, is your Facebook page a distraction? Are you sucked into that and the next thing you know you spent 30 minutes on it? Is TV a distraction? Are your friends a distraction? Are they drawing you away with all of the social activities from the things that you should be spending time on? And I'm so proud of Melissa York. I'll never forget when she told me that she needed something desperately out of Avocare, but she wasn't going to come to Champions Day because her daughter had a softball game. And I was very honest with her. I said, Melissa, here's the reality is that for a season you might have to miss some softball games. In order to get what you say you want, you're probably going to have to miss some softball games. And here's the thing is that your child will very likely never remember the softball games and the practices you missed. You know what your child's going to remember? The trips to Disney. You know what your child's going to remember? That mom and dad were home with me from 10 years old on. That's what your child's going to remember. So you've got to be willing to identify distractions, and sometimes those distractions are your kids and your kids' schedules, you guys. So you've got to realize that your own personal growth can sometimes be a distraction. If you think you have to have everything perfect, if you think that you've got to have everything figured out before you start, if you think you've got to have your language right before you start, you've got to understand our pay plan before you start, you've got to have our products before you start, that is a distraction, you guys. Ben and I were so willing to just make a mess. You're going to make a mess. Be willing to make a mess doing something, you guys, because at least you're moving the ball down the field. Now, what's next? You've got to, number one, believe. You've got to set goals, because if you don't have goals, you're just meandering. And if you're just meandering, like I said, you never know if you win or lose. Nobody ever wins or loses. We're all just good. We're all just kind of taking a ride. But you've got to have permission, you guys. We have to give you permission to shoot for something, okay? So right now, if a big goal for you is something you can't stretch your vision to see, maybe right now a goal for you is just, that honeymoon you didn't get to take. And I'm so proud of Aaron and Lindsay Fielding. I'm going to use their story as an example. They were in a season of trying to figure out what their next goal was, because Lindsay got home. Aaron worked hard in Avocare to get Lindsay home from her job with her kids. And once they got her home, they were kind of like, okay, what's our next goal? Well, they decided, you know what? We're going to hit 3K. We're going to hit 3K several pay periods in a row. When we do that, we're going to take our girls to a hotel, because our girls think going to a hotel is like going to the Ritz-Carlton. They're like fired up. Kids are fired up to go to hotels. They think it's the coolest thing to swim in a pool and order room service and all of that kind of stuff. So Aaron and Lindsay set that out there in front of their kids and kept it in front of their kids, and their kids held them accountable. So if it's things like that that you need to set goals for right now to get some momentum under your belt, go do it, you guys. Go ring the bell of victory for your family, because if you're not doing it, who else is going to? So whatever your goals are, you've got to write them down, keep them in front of you, say them to your leader, put them on your mirror in your bathroom, put them on your visor in your car, speak them daily, you guys. You've got to have that vision so clear in your brain about what your life is going to be called to accomplish, about where you're going, that your dreams are going to become a reality. But that's never going to happen if you don't decide. If you don't decide that Avocare is your absolute last resort, that Avocare is your best opportunity to live the life you imagine, if you don't decide to treat it like the business it is, and it still just stays to be something for you, you will never move your feet. So you have got to move your feet, you guys. And here's the reality is that people, just like I said, Forest plug in. What's next? Tomorrow night, Mike Wade is in the Woodlands. Who can you put in your car and get in a seat with you? Because fours go pick people up. Fours say, hey, buddy, I'm going to be at your house at 7 o'clock. I'll grab you then. And ring doorbells at 7 o'clock to pick people up. Saturday business training here at Ben in My House. Like I said, I didn't teach you about anything about the pay plan. I didn't teach you about how to package your story. I didn't teach you about we didn't teach any of that, you guys. So that is what a Saturday business training is for. You come with a journal, a hungry heart, and a willingness to learn, and you bring your team. So finally, last and for all, what is this really truly all about, you guys? It's about deciding that it's not about I'm never going to quit. Okay, because you can love Avocare for the rest of your life. You can love Spark for the rest of your life, but never make a dollar. Okay, so it's not just I'm never going to quit Avocare. I'm always going to love these products. I'm always going to love this company and the culture of this company. It's about deciding that you're going to do whatever it takes to get the job done, you guys. So this is 100% on you. This is your best chance, most of us. This is most of us our best chance at an extraordinary life. So we want feedback. We want to know, what did you realize tonight? Where are you at? Where have you been at? Where are you struggling? What are your frustrations? Where do you want to be? What are your goals? How can we help? And here's the thing, don't ask, you guys, don't ask, what do I need to do? Ask, what do I need to do better? Ask good questions, you guys. Were you a 3.7? Are you a 3 and thought you were a 4? And no wonder now you understand why you're not frustrated, because you're not out there talking to people. You're not recruiting. You're not getting anybody started on product. You're just hoping somebody's going to come talk to you. You've got to decide to stop wishing and start talking to everybody. You've got to start doing, because even if you haven't done things right, you guys, it's time today to start making them right, because you get one life. You get one heartbeat. You get one chance around this planet, you guys. You get one time. Are you going to live a life that instills a sense of dreaming, adventure, accomplishment, destiny on your kids? Are you going to leave a legacy of good enough? Because like it or not, you guys, there are some people that are going to sit on the sidelines and watch other people go get it. They're going to watch other people go accomplish their dreams. There's a reason why when you see champions rise, everybody's like, oh my gosh, they did it. That's incredible, you guys. But you have to realize you've got to see yourself as that champion. So you've got to be willing to step out of the stands and into the field. You've got to be willing to take the hits, take the no's, get beat up, get bloody, make a mess along the way, but be willing to stand on the podium in a few years, in 8 months, in a year, whatever it takes, and ring the bell of victory and say, you know what, I did it. I did it. But will that be you? You have to decide, and it all lies in your thinking. You guys, we love you. We believe every single one of you are called for greatness. Oh, I could cry. Every single one of you are called for greatness. So let me just encourage you in that right now. Don't ever listen to the dream stealers. Don't ever listen to people. Don't ever listen to the voices in your head that say it's not for you. It's for you. It is for you. You just have to decide it's for you and move your feet. We love you guys. We can't wait to hear from you guys. Let's go claim 2014 for your family. We love you guys. God bless.